Hi all, in this video we're going to talk about the January 2024 English A Paper 1. Our first section goes, each sentence has one word missing. Choose the word which best completes the meaning of the sentence. Our first one, he has been a staunch something for better healthcare systems for the poor. Our answer is C, advocate. Number 2, ready-to-wear garments are something in great numbers of the racks in stores. If you're unsure of what the answer would be for sure, you should try the method of elimination. So the way we do it is, you try to fit every word into the sentence to see which one best fits in. So, ready-to-wear garments are sorted in great numbers. That one doesn't make sense. Ready-to-wear garments are situated in great numbers. That one also doesn't seem to make much sense. Ready-to-wear garments are original in great numbers. That one doesn't make sense either. So the only one that seems to make sense would be ready-to-wear garments are available in great numbers. Number 3. The students of the different year groups said they something the title of Most Loved Teacher on Mr. Rogers. Another method of elimination we could use would be trying to see if the word would fit into the grammar of the sentence. So we could try the word elected. The students of the different year groups said they elected the title of Most Loved Teacher on Mr. Rogers, but you can't say elected on, so it wouldn't be that. Then, the students of the different year groups said they amended the title of Most Loved Teacher on Mr. Rogers. You don't really amend on something either. Maybe it could be fabricated, so they fabricated the title of Most Loved Teachers on Mr. Rogers. You don't fabricate on. So the only one that is left is conferred. So they said they conferred the title of Most Loved Teacher on Mr. Rogers. And yes, you do confer something on someone. So B is our answer for number 3. Number 4, they were told not to something the cost of repairing the building. The word is disclose. The answer is D. Number 5, there are many who would try to something your efforts because of their jealousy. The answer for number 5 is C. Now, next section. Some of the following sentences are unacceptable because they contain errors. No sentence contains more than one error. Some of the sentences are acceptable as they stand. Number 6, they were told to collaborate together to produce the project. Collaborate together is very repetitive and wordy because collaborate already means together. So the answer for number 6 is A. 7, in some traditional wedding ceremonies, money is thrown at the bride and groom. There is no error, the answer is D. Number 8, disgusted with the situation, he decided to jump into the saddle and put down his foot. Jump into the saddle and put down his foot would be misused metaphors or cliches, so the answer for number 8 is B. 9. Each of the children have an appointment with the principal. Anytime you see each, you should use a singular verb, so it should be has. Each of the children has an appointment with the principal. Therefore, the answer for number 9 is C. Grammatically incorrect. 10. He advanced a step or two to meet his attacker, who suddenly became alarmed and retreated back 4 or 5 paces. Retreated back is redundant, so the answer for number 10 is A. Next section. Some of the following sentences are unacceptable because of inappropriate grammar, idiom, or vocabulary. Some sentences are acceptable as they stand. No sentence contains more than one inappropriate element. Select the one underlined part that is inappropriate and choose the corresponding letter A, B, or C. If the sentence is acceptable, choose D. Number 11. The doctor's attempts to resuscitate the patient were futile. The answer is D, no error. 12. If Antonio's attitude changes, there will be a vast improvement in his performance. The answer is B. It should be THERE. Number 13. One of the admirable characteristics of the young is that they are not easily scared. The answer is D, no error. 14. Since too much passengers were in the taxi, the policeman issued a ticket to the driver. The answer is A, it should be too many. 15. As John listened to the lesson being taught, he began to lose interest. The answer is C. It should be LOSE. Next section. Each sentence in this section has one word underlined. Choose from the 4 suggested answers the word which is closest to opposite in meaning to the underlined word. 16. She paid meticulous attention to her work as she attached the bead to the costume. The answer is A. Scant. 17. They lived in a large, sprawling, modern house in a very remote area of the parish. The answer is B. Built up. 18. James has a hatred for things that crawl. The answer is D. Fondness. 19. The views expressed by Mr. Jones were inconsistent with those of the committee. The answer is A. Compatible. 20. The airline conveyed the new flight information to the passengers. The answer is A. Withheld. Next section. Revise each of the following sentences according to the directions that follow it. Do not change the meaning of the original sentence. Look at the options A to D for the word or phrase that best suits the revised sentence and mark your choice on the answer sheet. So in this section, they give you the original sentence, which is, I saw the 2 men jogging around the savannah, and they later proved to be Olympic track stars. Then they give you a set of instructions on how to paraphrase the sentence. So they want you to begin the sentence with the 2 men. If we had to paraphrase the sentence and start it like that, it would become the 2 men whom I saw jogging around the savannah proved to be Olympic track stars. And whatever part of the sentence changed is what your answer will be. So when I say the 2 men, I never use the word that. I never use the word when or which. The word that I use in the sentence is whom. So I said the 2 men whom I saw jogging around the savannah. So the answer is D. Whom. Number 22. The cricket match ended abruptly when many of the spectators stormed the field. Our instructions would be begin the sentence with many of the spectators stormed. So the sentence we could say would be many of the spectators stormed the field, so the match ended abruptly. Our answer is A. So. Number 23. During my time at school, I was involved in extracurricular activities. Begin the sentence with I was involved in. Okay, so our sentence is I was involved in extracurricular activities while I was at school. So the answer is B, while I was. 24. We visited the zoo and then we went to see the display at the museum in the city. Begin the sentence with we went to see the display. So we went to see the display after we visited the zoo. So the answer is A. 25. I enjoy having a room of my own and I try hard to take care of it. Begin the sentence with I try hard. I try hard to take care of my room since I enjoy having it. I try hard to take care of a room of my own since I enjoy having it. The answer is B, since. Now we get into the comprehension section. So read the following poem carefully and then answer items 26 to 35 on the basis of what is stated or implied. The poem is called Forgive My Guilt. Yeah. It goes, not always sure what things called sins may be, I am sure of one sin I have done. It was years ago and I was a boy. I lay in the frost flowers with a gun. The air ran blue as the flowers. I held my breath. 2 birds on golden legs, slim as dream things, ran like quicksilver in the golden sand. My gun went off. They ran with broken wings into the sea. I ran to fetch them in, but they swam with their heads high out to sea. They cried like 2 sorrowful high flutes, with jagged ivory bones where wings should be. For days I heard them when I walked that headland, crying out to their kind in the blue. The other plovers were going over south, on silver wings leaving those broken too. The cries went out one day, but still I hear them. Over all the sounds of sorrow in war or peace I ever have heard, time cannot drown them, those slender flutes of sorrow never cease. To airy things forever denied the air. I never knew how their lives at last were split. But I have hoped for years. All that is wild, airy, and beautiful will forgive my guilt. Okay, and they also state that when you see the word headland in line 13, it means a narrow piece of land jutting out into the sea. Yeah. 26. The title of the poem, Forgive My Guilt, suggests that the poet is admitting his guilt. The answer is C. 27. The phrase, the air ran blue as the flowers, is an example of B. Metaphor. 28. The tone of the poem changes from one of factual recollection to one of emotional responses. Which of the following lines does the change occur? 8, 10, 11, 14. Let's take a look. At 10. But they swam with their heads high out to sea. They cried like two sorrowful high flutes with jagged ivory bones. The answer is 11. Line 11. 29. What effect does a change of tone from factual recollection to emotional response produce? Sympathy towards the person, T. 30. The following words in the poem all share the same connotation: sorrowful, crying, broken. Which of the following phrases in the poem has a similar connotation to these words? B. Jagged ivory bones. 31. All of the following phrases in the poem describe physical characteristics of the two birds except D. Wild, airy, and beautiful. 32. The writer uses the phrase denied the air to suggest that the birds were unable to fly. C. 33. Which of the following mood is suggested in lines 11 to 24? It's a very sad, kind of sympathetic mood. C. The answer is sympathetic. 34. The main theme of the poem is remorse of conscience. A. 35. To which of the following senses does the poem most appeal? C. Sight and hearing. Now we have a narrative called The Sisters. Over the years, Martha had sent many warm and friendly messages to Elena, inviting her to visit Elora and assuring her that she'd always be welcome. But her prodigal sister never replied. From time to time, however, traders brought news that Elena's marriage to Iako had been blessed with two sets of twins, that Iako had succeeded his father as ruler of the kingdom of horses, and that their marriage was a stormy one. For a long time, there was no further news until one day a traveler told Queen Martha that Iako had been thrown by a wild horse and had broken his back, that Elena had lost both her beauty and her mind, and after shouting night and day that the kingdom of wild horses was an accursed one, she had escaped from keepers. They searched high and low for her, but she had vanished without a trace. The traveler said, shaking his head slowly. The queen immediately summoned Leha and ordered her to send search parties to all of the countries bordering on the kingdom of wild horses. Go to the ends of the earth if you have to, but bring my sister back to Elora. Whoever finds her will be amply rewarded. Queen Martha said to the trackers, traders, and interpreters, whom Leha had recruited. But after years of futile searching, the search parties returned one by one and reported that they had found no trace of Elena. It's as if your sister has vanished from the face of the earth, Leha said. I hear you, said Queen Martha said, and yet I feel in my bones that she's still alive. Leha had led one of the search parties, and when she returned, her hair was streaked with grey, and age had mapped her rough-hewn face with lines as delicate as spiderwebs. The first time that Leha stepped into the audience room to report about her travels to distant places in search of Elena, she was both surprised and pleased to see how Queen Martha had aged. When their eyes made four, the smiling Leha said to herself, it's as if her face had beaten very gently against the years. For she could see quite clearly how time had changed and what was once an ugly countenance into a beautiful one. When a shaft of sunlight touched the cloud of white hair on the queen's head, it became luminous, and a welcoming smile lighting up her dark face lifted Leha's spirits and made her heart sing. and somehow all the hardships she had endured traveling across parched savannas through densely wooded valleys, over mountains, and down turbulent rivers were forgotten. Okay, number 36. The first two sentences of the passage suggest that the relationship between the sisters was the answer would be strained. 37. Their marriage was a stormy one implies that it was fraught with difficulty. B. 38. The instruction go to the ends of the earth implies that they should search every accessible land. A. 39. The literary device used in the phrase as delicate as spiderwebs is a simile. B. Once you have a comparison using like or as, it is simile. 40. The writer implies that Leha was the leader of the Queen's army. D. 41. Which of the following is an example of contrast? Lighting up her dark face, light and dark are opposites. D. 42. The cloud of white hair is an example of a metaphor. B. 43. The style of writing this extra can best be described as narrative. B. 44. The word that is closest in meaning to turbulence is rough. A. Another expository now. It has been stated by many that there is research that points to the greater benefits of education in single-sex schools. Yet, according to the Financial Times, for the past 30 years, the numbers of single-sex state schools in the UK has dwindled from nearly 2,500 to just over 400. In 60 local authorities, there are no single-sex secondary schools at all. In the past decade, 130 single-sex private schools too have gone co-educational or closed entirely. It would appear that the country that has had the greatest influence on our education system has very little regard for such research. Instead, it has been on a steady road of bringing its children of both genders together to be educated in the same schools. Whereas our nation has embarked upon a journey of setting our children apart in terms of gender during their critical formative years. Will we be creating further division in an already deeply divided society? Do we consider our children to be equal but separate? The research referred to above is said to extol the academic benefit of education in single-sex schools. But should we focus only on academic performance and exam results? We must assess the impact of the graduates of our social and ethical life that prevails in our society. In single-sex schools, children are deprived of the opportunity to fully develop their intra- and interpersonal skills so crucial for their emotional intelligence. This is especially so for those who have no siblings or have only siblings of the same gender. For them, the opportunity for developing the knowledge and ability to interact meaningfully with pairs of the opposite sex is even more greatly diminished in single-sex schools. Okay, according to the Financial Times, which of the following statements is true? This is number 45. The answer is D. Many state and private single-sex schools have been converted to co-ed. 46. Which of the following words may best be used to replace influence in line 6? The answer is B. Impact. 47. Which group is the writer most concerned about? B. Graduates from our school system. 48. What is the speaker attempting to do in the passage? A. Warn students about the danger of single-sex schools. 49. The main purpose of the title, Why Create Further Divisions, is to A. Arouse the curiosity of readers. We have another expository here to read now. Music too loud, I can't study. To the editor, okay? I just can't take it anymore. I just can't take the noise forced on me by a restaurant and bar located across the street. The noise is unbearable and I cannot concentrate on my studies. I am writing the CSEC exams in May or June this year and I must pass all my subjects. I am attending a reputable girls' school and I want to make good grades to get into the CAPE class. I work hard and every report so far indicates that I am an above average student. I want to make my mother proud. She is a hard-working woman, especially since my father passed away 2 years ago. We have been struggling to make ends meet without complaint. But I must complain now because the restaurant and bar is intent on frustrating my ambitions. and the sacrifices my mother is making. I appreciate the help of the government in providing opportunities for education, which is going to be futile unless it is possible to take full advantage of them. Can you imagine having to struggle with your math problem with thunderous noise bombarding your eardrums and everything in the house jumping up and down as if the place is haunted? Can you imagine speaking to a classmate about homework and you can't hear each other? Can you imagine stuffing cotton in your ears in order to get some sleep? Can you imagine trying to explain to your teacher that you didn't do your homework or that you sleep in class because of the noise coming from the restaurant and bar? The noise coming from this place is a serious obstacle that I am unable to overcome, and I am seeking help in dealing with it. Can you imagine my mother and her 16-year-old daughter going to this place in the midst of rioters drinking to ask them to turn down the music because I want to study or just to get some sleep? I understand that residents have been calling the police, but the response has been ineffective. At the moment of writing this letter, Sunday the 19th at 9:30 a.m., they are blasting away after going late into last night. Under the guise of Carnival, they will continue their merciless onslaught. From Carnival Friday night right up until Ash Wednesday morning, they will continue non-stop. There will be total madness. Okay, number 50. I just can't take it anymore implies that the writer is A. Crying. 51. Which of the following devices does the writer use in paragraph 2 to explain her plight? The answer is D. Rhetorical question. 52. The following sentences: I work hard and every report so far indicates that I am an above average student, suggests that the writer is C. What she wants to sustain this. 53. What effect does the writer achieve when she says, can you imagine my mother and her 16-year-old daughter going to this place in the midst of rioters drinking? The answer is admiration from the reader for the woman's courage, C. 54. This kind of writing is best classified as as A. Emotive. Next comprehension. Energy efficiency tips. This one is a very popular one. They bring this in a lot of papers. Number 1. Keep fixtures and bulbs clean. Dirt can absorb as much as 50% of light. 2. Turn off the lights when leaving the room, even if it's only for a few minutes. It's just a myth that it takes more energy to turn a light on than to leave it on. 3. Use motion sensors for outdoor lights. They're a good security measure that doesn't waste energy. 4. Use lower wattage bulbs. Your lights may be brighter than you need. 5. Purchase lamps with dimmer switches, as you can lower the settings when less light is required. 6. Place floor or table lamps in a corner. This allows light to reflect from the walls, making the room brighter without turning on more lights. 7. Use fluorescent lights instead of incandescent lights. Compact fluorescent lights use up to 75% less energy than incandescent lights for the same amount of light and last up to 10 times longer. 55. The main purpose of this advertisement is to encourage better energy use, C. 56. How much energy do fluorescent lights use? A. 75% less than incandescent lights. 57. The advertisement emphasizes that motion sensors are important because D. They are efficient and provide security. 58. Which of the following is not stated in the advertisement? B. Lamps placed on the floor are better for energy efficiency. 59. The information in the advertisement will be most useful to C. Housewives. 60. The third device used in item 7 of the advertisement is B. Contrast between the differences between the ability of the fluorescent lights and the incandescent lights to save energy. And that is it for this paper. Thank you for watching.